Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. Department of Justice, Federal Reserve balance sheet, new all-time highs. That's not a sentence you want to hear, but we're going to get into it. Bitcoin in trouble? We're going to ask the question today. There's more problems ahead here. The Digital Euro Association and the XRP-Ledger? The timing is very, very interesting. We'll cover that as well. Russia war, Ukraine has swift sanctions and swift smack dab in the middle of it. We're going to talk about that and so much more, especially huge exculpatory evidence, as John Deaton says. And let's get that update from the SEC Ripple case. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today. Make sure you give us a follow. It's $1.755 trillion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. It's February 25th, 2022. We are up 8.55% in this really highly risky, volatile cryptocurrency market. Right now, Bitcoin crossing back over 39,000, Ethereum 2,600, almost 2,700. XRP is at 70 cents. It's up 8.65% on a 24-hour. Look at the range of price for XRP right now is 0.6549 on the bottom and 0.7273 on top. We'll keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the SEC is planning, or at least talking about having a discussion here, or having the discussion in changing the accredited investor level by 10 times the amount it is today. Now, currently, right now, you either have to make $200,000 a year consecutively 2 years in a row in personal income, or have a combined household of $300,000 a year in income for 2 years in a row, and or $1 million in assets, not including your personal property, your home. So, this is really, Gary Gensler is just turned out to be a horrible SEC chairman. He claims he's protecting investors. You should be lowering the threshold so we can all have a chance. And that's exactly what Link2 has been trying to do. And that's why I tell you, if you're accredited or meet any one of those requirements, go register and sign up before this idiot running the SEC changes it. And until then, let's stay strong in the fight with Link2, because I know for a fact they're doing everything they can to eliminate the height bar to entry. So that's what we need right there. And hopefully they can have a strong voice in that area and get them to throw out those ridiculous requirements for all of us right there. Link in the description. Check it out. By the way, Ripple, Uphold, all that stuff, top sellers, it's not there for much longer. I tell you, these companies intend to have some form of a public exit. And when that happens, it won't be available anymore the way it is now at the discounted rate that it currently is either, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Take a look right here. This is Amin Gun Sayer. And I tell you something, the first time I ever got a chance to sit down and hear him, he was at the Link2 Lunch and Learn yesterday. And I don't mind telling you, it was a great conversation with him and Greg Kidd. But I did catch this moment right here where he absolutely destroys Ethereum and says it's only good if you're a whale or a bot. Check it out.
In the meantime, we're going to see assets move to cheaper, faster chains via bridges.
First of all, cheaper, faster chains via bridges right there. What is XRP? It's a bridge asset. Wonderful, Amin. Let's keep going.
So we're already seeing this, the $16 billion worth of assets on top of Avalanche. Many of those billions are coming from Ethereum. Ethereum is too expensive to use, so people simply bridge over and do their DeFi operations on top of us because we offer a much better foundation. So the same, you're going to start seeing the same for Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be bridged to Avalanche, and it's true for just about every other asset. You will see them go, and if Avalanche, for whatever reason, begins to slow down or has issues or whatever, then you will see those assets move to whoever has the cheapest, fastest most decentralized platform. So be a future of multiple chains, bridged, and assets flowing around to wherever they get processed fastest. And it's a wonderful, wonderful world. I think it's a very capital efficient world. A lot of people will come into Avalanche, carry out the transaction, go back to Ethereum. It's cheaper to do it that way than to pay the Uniswap fee on Ethereum, for example. So it's pretty intense. I did not expect to see that dynamic take place, but that's exactly what's happening. Ethereum has become so expensive that it's only useful for whales and bots. So if you're a whale, you're fine. You're a bot, you're okay. But if you're a regular person paying, $50 to $100 for doing a swap, it's just too much.
It absolutely is too much. Well said, Amin. And by the way, he went on to say he liked XRP. He didn't understand with all the onset of the stablecoin development how it would work out for XRP as a bridge. I offered the notion that it's very simple how that works. It starts in the lower exotic corridors where there's not deep liquidity for those currencies, albeit a stable coin or a CBDC in those areas. Companies, banks working in those multiple different currency regions do not have to carry each denominated currency. They can hold one, it's XRP, Amin, and that allows a lot of freed up capital right there. And you don't have to pre-fund those accounts, right? So that alone helps it. The other big attractive advantage is that when we use a bridge currency for settling these CBDCs and stable coins, what we're really doing is creating a new money, a very, very new powerful tool, which is a new money, however you want to look at it, because you're driving the liquidity and utility onto the XRP Ledger, which is a decentralized exchange as well as a payment network. And that is a very key element because the world is going to need a new form of money moving forward, in my opinion. Look right here. Looks like the Department of Justice is wrapping up this case here with BitMEX. Founders Arthur Hayes and Benjamin Delow pleaded guilty to violations of the U.S. Bank Secrecy Act. Basically, the platform was being used for money laundering. Basically, they were not doing the proper requirements, registration, or checks, and they are now paying the price for that. I show this not only to show you that incident is getting resolved, but also because it should free the Department of Justice up to go after ETHgate, because it does appear to be a criminal matter. Now, here's a sentence we don't like to hear. Normally, we want to hear new all-time highs, but not in this case because the Federal Reserve balance sheet is making new all-time highs at $8.9 trillion. Despicable, right? And I tell you, the horrible thing about this is I don't hear either side saying they need to find fiscal discipline. I hear neither side saying, it's not the small business owner that's the problem. It's not even the big corporations. It's the government spending, right? I mean, we could argue over all day whether big corporations or billionaires should pay more or less taxes. But the problem is even if they're paying more, look who they're giving it to. They're giving it to the most fiscally irresponsible corporation in the world, which is the United States government. Take a look at this. Bitcoin is an American technology, says this guy, Anthony Pompliano right here. Whoo-wee, can I save you to 2 minutes? He said it's an American technology, Bitcoin is. And how does he know that? Does he know who Satoshi is now? Where the tech is from? I got a couple more questions for you, Anthony Pompliano. Have you ever heard that the EU is considering banning Bitcoin proof of work? You might want to catch one of my videos like the one from yesterday. The European Union Parliament has the wind in its sails to kick proof of work in Bitcoin mining out of the 20 plus nations represented by the EU. My question again is, what's the plan if the U.S. does it too? See, this is the problem we've talked about because this is how the grown-ups talk about it. We've talked about it like this since day one. Bitcoin has tried to be a currency. It has always tried to be anti-bank, anti-establishment, challenge demand. And this is what happens when you challenge demand, Anthony. Right? You think having El Salvador make it legal tender there is solving a problem? Or are you smart enough to know it puts crosshairs on your back? I can remember being at Bitcoin Miami last year and seeing a giant poster up top in the ceiling of a burning dollar. And I remember somebody walking in, I believe it was the former CFTC chairman, Chris Giancarlo, who I'm proud to say is a fan of the show. And he looks up at that sign, he says, that sign needs to come down. And you know what I said? Chris, I think you're right. I think you're right. That's not the kind of heat you want to bring on yourself. Take a look here now. John Deaton says huge exculpatory evidence. The August 20, 2018 meeting between Jay Clayton, William Hinman, Brad Garlinghouse, and David Schwartz. This meeting is 2.5 months after the William Hinman speech declaring that Bitcoin and Ethereum are non-securities. Frustrated that only 2 of the top 3 cryptocurrencies were provided regulatory clarity, Garlinghouse and Schwartz asked what they could do to achieve similar clarity for XRP, with Garlinghouse declaring, Ripple is living in purgatory because of this lack of clarity regarding XRP. At that moment, if Jay Clayton and William Hinman truly believed XRP was a security, they would have informed Garlinghouse and Schwartz right then, right there. Instead, Clayton responded, the meeting was not the proper forum for a discussion about that topic. Neither Clayton nor Hinman informed Garlinghouse that the XRP was a security. Instead, Clayton then asked Garlinghouse to back up from that issue and steered the meeting to a discussion about Ripple's business in technology. In fact, at the end of this August 20, 2018 meeting, Clayton encouraged the Ripple executives to continue ongoing discussions with the staff, the Division of Corporate Finance. At no time during this meeting did Clayton or Hinman or any other SEC official indicate that ongoing sales of XRP in August of 2018 were securities. And remember, the SEC had conducted a Howey analysis of XRP dated June 13, 2018. If that memo concluded XRP was a security, Clayton and Hinman would have informed Garlinghouse that XRP was in fact a security and would have told him to stop selling it without registration. The truth is, the first time Ripple or its executives are informed that the SEC considered XRP a security is 2 years later. After that meeting in September 20, it says here only 3 months before the lawsuit. By the way, Ripple was first informed XRP was a security less than a month after. This is just deplorable what's going on here. You know, I tell you what a mess this is. Well, the mess just keeps getting bigger, but it doesn't get any better. Jeremy Hogan says here in response to James K. filing, the SEC has filed its opposition to Brad Garlinghouse's motion to compel turnover of notes taken by Matthew Estabrook, counsel to then the SEC Commissioner Elad Roisman. It lays out the argument here. Jeremy Hogan says, I don't think the judge orders these notes to be produced. The SEC does a good job of laying out its argument in the first part, and I think the second and third arguments are particularly compelling here. If we go into just the third one here, the third discloses deliberative notes taken by counsel SEC commissioner to assist in advising the commissioner on agency decisions could chill future deliberations of other agency employees as they make judgments about which matters to memorialize and which forego memorializing out of fear that the thought processes may be subject to disclosure. Garlinghouse argues that meetings between commissioners and market participants are not freewheeling, informal, internal discussions where a shield is necessary to promote candor and policymaking. Motion at 3, but it ignores the central issue that Mr. Estabrook and other SEC employees should feel free to record information on matters that they deem important to agency decision-making, and so on and so on. But what you have to come back to is you hope that the judge uses some kind of perspective here and context to say all of what John Deaton said and understand these facts and circumstances. and pierce the veil because she understands that there is some kind of buffoonery and boondoggling going on here to the highest order. We'll have to see how this goes, but this is where we are at this point. John Deaton does agree and said Jeremy is on point as usual because Brad Garlinghouse was at this meeting. He is aware of what was said and discussed. Judge Netburn already ruled Ripple couldn't have the notes from other meetings Garlinghouse or SBI, its largest shareholder, were present for. So we are pretty much looking at an uphill climb on that particular matter. Now let's take and shift gears and go here, because we know that the Russia war and Ukraine conflict has SWIFT and the SWIFT sanctions smack dab in the middle of it. No one likes it. No one likes it. And certainly I have seen some jackass out here claiming that people are cheering about war, hoping that it brings on XRP. I don't see anyone cheering about it. And certainly it can be discussed without that effect, right? Without that angle to it. And I don't think it's really wrong to think of it as a beginning point of where we are headed, because the reality is SWIFT, the sanctions, all of this being in the middle of this event, this war taking place now, is a very real discussion. And it's a very real discussion on so many different levels of perception here. One, we know for a fact it's okay to talk about it because Chris Larson's talked about it. He says XRP can replace cross-border behemoth SWIFT. Yeah, 2020. We also know Brad Garlinghouse talked about it in 2018. He says, in fact, what we're doing, executing on a day-by-day basis, in fact, is taking over SWIFT. Now, what I believe is a great possibility is that we could see RippleNet become a collaboration, merger acquisition of some sort for SWIFT, because SWIFT is going to have a very difficult time understanding that Russia and China and others are building and have built new financial systems to obfuscate SWIFT's messaging platform. The difference here is that if you want to be interoperable outside of your country or between country China, country Russia, and you want to deal with the rest of the world, you're going to need to be on that digital system that works for the world. And I do believe the ultimate destination will be RippleNet and the use of the XRP Ledger. Here's more evidence of that, and just not my speculation. 5 hours ago, the Digital Euro Association, and let's remember, really quickly, Private Ledger, Central Bank of Bhutan, Republic of Palau, which is going to launch a national currency off of the XRP Ledger, which should meet the obligation, by the way, for the IMF to carry a digital currency in the SDR basket once that happens, according to Ross Leclau. Understanding this 5 hours ago, Ripple, a new partner to the Digital Euro Association as they are the Digital Pound Foundation, they decided 5 hours ago to say, how does the XRP Ledger of Ripple's real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network actually work? And then they give you a little tutorial video, which we don't need to see because we know how it works. And I decided to share here that moment when you realize the Digital Euro Association, representing 27 nations, is explaining how the XRP Ledger works. And they just happen to be doing it the day after Russia and Ukraine go to war with SWIFT and the sanctions smack dab in the middle of all of it. I'm sure it's nothing. A reminder here that the XRP bridges 4 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds to settle. And look at this, fractions of a penny. No matter the value of money you're sending. You know, when I look at these things, I have to say, you know, I've often said, now my oldest brother and I, before I was even a YouTuber back in 2017, when we got into this investment, we had the notion to understand if you're going to introduce a new money to the world, like a bridge currency, like XRP, there's a damn good chance that it'll be a bittersweet moment. What does that mean? That the world and the government, and certainly the U.S. government, knowing that it has the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency of the world currently, would not even dare introduce a new money to the world, a bridge currency that could complement the money of the world, unless there was a real dark reason for having to do so. You think they would do it during good times? Or do you know for a fact, like I do, they're only going to do it if there's a bad time? Bad times are here, it feels like. It's not just a conflict that's happening over in Europe. It's the liquidity crisis that existed before the deliberate shutdown of the global economy from a pandemic. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share with somebody you know. Hit that notification bell. Don't miss a thing. Take a look at this really quickly here. As he had told us here, the Fibonacci levels, the price support levels have been hit. Will they remain or will they fall back and break lower? We don't know, but we will keep an eye on it. One thing I do know, $4.50, $8, $13, $20+, all still on the table according to Dark Defender and Coins Kid, by the way, who's right here. Give them both a follow for Crypto TA, especially XRP. Check out all the links in the description box in the comment section. Great deals and specials, but you got to click the links. I'll catch you on the next one.